Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to be learning about Roman numerals, okay? Now what I'd like you to do is pause the video and write your date and learning objective really neatly in your home learning book. If you do have a ruler at home, it would be great to see you underline the date and LO so it looks beautiful and neat, just like in school. Okay, now, as with every maths lesson, I like to make sure my brain is warmed up. And today we are going to warm up our maths brains by doing some quick fire questions. You can do these just under your LO and I will give you the answers in just a moment, okay? So if there's any there that you don't understand, don't worry, just try your best and I will explain the answers. Are you ready? Okay, question 1. How many grams in a kilogram? That's 1 kilogram. How many grams? 1.5 kilograms. How many grams have I got there? Work out the perimeter of a square where each side is 11 centimetres. The perimeter. Okay. One more, 13 times 8. And our last quickfire question today is 8 squared. 8 squared. That's quite a tricky one. Don't worry if you haven't done squared numbers before. I'm going to explain the answers in a sec. So if you want to pause the video to let you catch up, that's absolutely fine. In a second, I'm going to move on to the answers. Okay. So let's go through those answers. The first question, how many grams in a kilogram? The answer is 1,000. K in kg, the kilo, is actually ancient Greek and it means 1,000. So if you haven't checked out my video about converting between grams and kilograms, please do check that out on my channel. 1.5 kg or 1.5 kilograms, that is 1,500 grams. Well done if you got that one. The next question, work out the perimeter of a square where each side is 11 centimetres. The answer is 44, and here's how I got it. I know that a square has 4 sides, and I know that with squares, each side they're all the same with a square, okay? So if I have one side that's 11 centimetres, that means I've got 4 sides that are 11 centimetres. And if I add all of those together, I will get 44. Next question, 13 times 8. Oh, I've skipped ahead, look. 13 times 8 is 104. Okay, and you can do 13 times 8 or 8 times 13 because we know that with multiplication we can do the switcher, we can switch it around. It is 104. Well done if you got that. And the last question, 8 squared. Well, squared, that just means that you times it by itself. So 8 squared, that just means 8 times 8, which is 64. And you can square other numbers. So 5 squared, that's 5 times 5, which is 25. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. So squared just means that you times it by itself. Okay, we've warmed up our brains. Let's get on to the lesson. Today, we are learning about Roman numerals. Now, back in the Roman times, during the Roman Empire, and before that, during the Roman Republic, they didn't have digits or numbers like we do now. They used capital letters, which sounds a little bit strange, but it makes complete sense. And normally, we see Roman numerals now on things like sundials or fancy clocks, maybe. I've got some Roman numerals on the post box just up the road from me. So next time you go for a walk with your parents or carers and you go past a post box, have a little look and see if you can spot any Roman numerals on there. Now, great, we're using letters instead of numbers. But the thing is, how do we remember what order those letters come in? We know about numbers. We've been learning about numbers for ages. But letters, how do we remember the order? Well, my friends, I have a little trick, and that trick is written across the top of the screen. It's my little mnemonic, a bit like a rhyme, okay? And it helps you to remember the correct order for the letters, and it goes like this. I'm very excited. Let's count during maths. I'm very excited. Let's count during maths. And you can see that I've highlighted some letters red there. That is because those are the letters that you need to remember for your Roman numerals. Now, throughout today's lesson, I am going to leave this little mini knowledge organizer on the side to help you. Okay, if you've done Roman numerals before and you can remember it really well and you're feeling maybe quite ambitious, you could try to do some of the questions but cover up the knowledge organizer. That would be really, really brainy. So what we're going to do is I am going to show you some questions in a sec and I'm going to help you with them. We're going to do some guided practice. You're going to have a go and I'm going to help you. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some independent practice and I'm going to give you a task to have a go at on your own. But don't worry, I will show you the answers at the end of the video. So you will spot from my list here that I've got the letters. I'm very excited. Let's count during maths. Okay, and if you notice, if you look at the digits, we've got a bit of a pattern going on here. So it goes 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. Okay, we've only got 1s and 5s there, but we've added some zeros because 10 is 10 times bigger than 1. 100 is 10 times bigger than 10. So each time we've added extra zeros on when we've got 10 times bigger. So that's a really good way to remember the pattern. So remember your sentence and remember the 1515 pattern as well. But I will leave those on the screen to help you. Right, let's have a go at some. So I'm going to reveal the answers slowly and give you a chance to have a go on your own. We know from our knowledge organizer that the number 1 is I, okay? And I'm going to give you a clue. I'm going to show you what number 2 is. Number 2 is I. So what do you think number 3 might be? Absolutely, it is I. Now, number 4, that's when it starts to get a little bit tricky because in Roman numerals, we have a rule. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, you are only allowed to put 3 symbols or 3 letters that are the same altogether. Okay, so you can't have I. That is not the answer to the next question. Okay, so have a little think. I'm going to give you a clue, see if you can guess the answer. 4 is 1 before 5. Okay. Absolutely, the answer is IV. So the V stands for 5 and the I is 1, as we know. And you can see here that the I is before the V because 4 is 1 before 5. So if we were counting between 4 and 5, 4 is 1 number before 5. Okay, let's try some trickier ones. We know from our knowledge organizer that 5 is V. So think about the same pattern as before. We know that 6 is 1 after 5. So what do you think 6 might be in Roman numerals? Absolutely, it is VI. What about the number 7? 7 is 5 add 2 or 2 after 5. So let's see if you got it right. VII. Well done. If I'm going too quickly and you think, Mrs. Thompson, it's too quick, just pause the video and that will give you a chance to catch up. What about number 8? Yes, that's right. It's VIII. Now, number 9 is a little bit trickier. I'm going to give you a clue. The answer is not VIII. That is not the answer because remember our rule, we can only have 3 identical symbols in a row. So I'm going to give you another clue. You need to use the letter X in this number, okay? What do you think it could be? Okay, well done if you got it right. It is IX because the X represents 10. And we know from our counting that the number 9 is 1. This is my 1 before the letter or before the number 10. Okay, so well done if you got that one. We've got a few more just to go through and then I'm going to give you some questions to practice on your own. Okay, we know from our knowledge organiser that 10 is Roman numerals. It is represented by the letter X. And we are going to follow the same pattern as before. So think about your digits here. 11, well, that's 10 plus 1, isn't it? It's 1 after the number 10. So what do you think 11 is in Roman numerals? Use your knowledge organiser if you get stuck. Okay. Yes, it is 11. It's XI. Okay, so it's 1 after 10, or 10 add 1, or 1 add 10. Okay. 12, what do you think? Absolutely, it's XII, because the two I's here represent our 2. Okay, 1, 2. And the X represents our 10. And 2 after 10, or 10 add 2, is 12. Okay, now note here, look, this is not 13. I'm being a bit cheeky and I'm not going in the right order. So I have put the number 14 here. And I'm going to give you a clue. The answer is not XIII. That would make sense because it's 10 add 4. So X add I. That's not the answer. Remember the pattern from before. Remember the rule. You can only have 3 identical symbols in a row. Okay? So you are going to have to think carefully on this one. Okay. The answer is XIV. And I'm going to explain that one to you because it's quite tricky. So this is my 10, the X, okay, and this, the IV, is my 4. So we've got 10 and 4, and the IV is 4 because the 1 here is just before the 5, okay? So that IV represents 4. Are you confused yet? Your brain must be working very hard, okay? Have a go. Let's push it a bit further and see how many we can do. Any ideas on 15? Have a little think. Okay, think about, what do I need to do to get to the number 10? It's 10, so the number 15. It's 10 add. Okay, and the answer is XV, because the X represents our 10 and the V represents our 5. And 15, the number 15, well, that's 5 after 10, isn't it? It's 5 more than 10. Okay, 10 and 5. Okay, and the last one, this is quite a tricky one. It's quite tricky. Have a go. Okay, well, the answer to 16 is XVI. So all of my teen numbers, or most of my teen numbers, are going to have this X in them because I've got 10. So that this is 10, the X is 10, and the VI is 6. Okay, the VI there is 6, as we know from before. And 16 is 6 after 10. So there is your whistle-stop introduction to Roman numerals. And your independent task today is to write down as many numbers as you possibly can in Roman numerals. So we know 1, we know 5, we know 10. You can always go back and look at your knowledge organiser, okay? If you don't have squares in your book at home, you can write this out as a list, okay? And I'm going to ask you to pause the video here. Your job is to write the Roman numerals in. So pause the video, and when you release the video, or when you unpause it, you will see the answers. Good luck. Okay, so are you ready for the answers? Here we go. So I'm going to move these up a little bit so you can see them better. And what I would like for you to do, oh, here we go. Make it a little bit smaller for you. It's a little bit wonky, isn't it? Oh dear. So what we are going to do is we are going to pause the video here so you can mark your work. Well done today. You've been great, and I'll see you again tomorrow.